my next idea would be a follow-up Luigi's Mansion game. Basically, the story would start at Luigi's Mansion, right? Dr. Egad and Luigi are in their lab. No, Luigi still has his house, right? His mansion. Still has the original paintings from the first game, right? In the lab, right? Because those ghosts were caught, right? And basically, Dr. Egad on his phone finds out that in Transylvania there are a lot of reports of ghost activity acting up, right? And they want to both travel to Transylvania to research the ghosts in Transylvania, right? But Melody, the ghost that Luigi caught in the first game, would hear this and fear for Luigi's safety because she kind of has a huge crush on Luigi. That would be the whole point of the game. So she would follow him to Transylvania, hiding in his suitcase, basically. And basically, when they arrive in Transylvania, they get out of some sort of taxi or an old-fashioned car, right? And they open the trunk, they grab the suitcase. She would pop out the suitcase and give Luigi a big kiss, right? And basically, throughout the game, Melody would follow Luigi around, humming the game's tunes along to the music she would be humming since she's a musician, and she would basically assist Luigi at defeating the bad ghost. She as a ghost, she can attack the ghost, right? She can slap them, trip them, grab them, weakening the ghost, so Luigi can use the poltergeist to suck them in, right? And they would be using their phone, Luigi's phone, with a modified ghost camera that works with infrared. That would be explained by Dr. Egad at the start of the game, to find the ghosts in hiding in certain sections of the game. For example, the game would have a haunted hospital, a haunted school, a haunted graveyard. The game would have a town where Luigi would talk to townsfolk, learning about ghost sightings. That basically, the townsfolk were scared of these ghosts, right? And it would have interesting scenes such as a lakeside scene where Melody gets all romantic all of a sudden and gets Luigi, is kind of scared of Melody. He's uncomfortable by Melody, and Melody like freaks out at Luigi. Why aren't you listening? Don't you understand what I'm trying to tell you? You know what I mean? You never listen to me, and start crying. You know what I mean, right? And at a school, the haunted school, in the music room, she would discover a piano and rush to the piano all happy. Oh, I haven't played so long. I want to play. And start to play a marriage theme, right? A wedding theme. Kind of implying the game's actual ending. Because in the game, you would still be collecting money and gems, right? Like traditional Luigi's Mansion games, right? You would suck at items to try to suck up money, right? The game's ending would vary depending on how much money you collected in the game, right? And it would simply be Luigi and Melody's marriage, and the marriage itself would simply get fancier and fancier as you progress through the game. It depends how much money you got in the game. Yeah, you would get a score based on how much money and gem you collected, right? And you would have a different ending, a varied ending, and it would simply be Luigi's marriage to Melody in Transylvania. Yeah, they would simply get married. Yeah, that would change the Mario saga. In the Mario games, Luigi would now be forever known to be married to Melody. That would add to the dynamic. Luigi is a paranormal investigator. In the Luigi's Mansion games, right? So in the Mario games, Luigi should be known to be married to Melody from now on, right? That would be a part of the saga. Whether or not you want to include Mario in this Luigi's Mansion, he could be possibly present, at the wedding with Peach, right? And Daisy would kind of get jealous at the wedding, right? Would possibly even object, right? But Luigi and Melody simply chose to go ahead with the ceremony, right? Daisy did not necessarily want Luigi, right? Luigi had a crush on Daisy, didn't played hard to get. Yeah, that would be part of the story. Daisy would have played hard to get, and Luigi was tired about it and realized Melody towards the end of the game, that Melody was worth his time, right? And Dr. Egad would kind of be his best man because they are work partners, right? In the paranormal field, that would add to the dynamic, and the marriage ceremony would simply vary and get fancier, depending on how much money and gems you collect in the game. Yeah, and simply design goes through these locations, hidden locations, right? Basically, King Boo, for example, and Boos would be forcing ghosts to do harm on the villagers, right, or something, right, or simply the ghosts are angry at being dead, right? Not all ghosts are friendly, right? Write a story revolving on my ideas. Luigi's Mansion, Transylvania Adventure. Yeah, Luigi and Melody would end up getting married, and she would act all creepy throughout the game, humming most of the game to the game's music, right? And when Luigi is standing or not doing anything, she would circle around and drool and act all creepy around Luigi. Yeah, she would be basically his crazy ghost stalker girlfriend. Yeah, and they would simply get married at the end of the game, because at the school, when she plays a marriage scene, Luigi would realize, you would see Luigi start to develop a love connection, because he would realize, that Melody really loved him, right? That would be the story of the game. That would be the next Luigi's Mansion installment. That would change the Mario Saga quite a lot, yeah, because Luigi's a paranormal investigator. That would make total sense. And Dr. Egad would have developed ghost tools on his phone, on Luigi's Mansion's phone. Remember in the first Luigi's Mansion, he had the Game Boy Horror, but now he would use an Android phone with modernized game apps that are actually working in today's life, right? Ghost tools, yeah. A ghost camera, maybe a ghost box, to see if he would hear certain ghosts, use these tools, to hunt ghosts in the game. Yeah. Would make sense. You know what I mean? The tools would have been developed by Dr. Egad. Yeah, the apps would have been developed, and Luigi could actually use his cell phone as a GPS for one, and to contact Dr. Egad. You know what I mean? Dr. Egad would stay at the hotel. There would be a haunted hotel too. He would stay at the hotel, yeah. And some of the ghosts would be friendly in the game, right? It's Transylvania, but there are bad ghosts in the game. Angry ghosts, yeah. And possibly King Boo is the cause of it. He is instructing these ghosts to act out on the Transylvanian people. That would be the story. That would be the next installment in the Luigi's Mansion game. I'm not sure if they're on the third or the fourth, but this would be the next installment in the game, in the Luigi's Mansion saga. That would add a whole new dynamic to the Mario saga and be a very interesting Luigi's Mansion game. She would, as a musician, would hum the game's music. Yeah, would make total sense. She would go or something. You know what I mean? And would play the wedding theme at the school's music class. Yeah, implying the game's ending. Yeah, that would, and she would act totally creepy and drool over Luigi throughout the game. You know what I mean? And she would be assisting Luigi in hunting these ghosts through haunted locations. Yeah. And again, you would collect coin, bills, and gems, possibly by sucking at items, right? And the game's ending would vary depending on how much stuff you collect, like in traditional Luigi's Mansion game. The game would be kind of like Luigi's Mansion 2. You would have multiple locations that you could travel and travel back to, and have different levels. The graveyard would have an underground crypt, for example, right? There would be a haunted hospital with ghost nurses that freak out patients in Transylvania. The school would be haunted by kids, dead kids, like twins that are playing on the swing set, right? And they are a little evil, and they were bullies, and they're, I don't know, dying from cancer in their story, and therefore, Luigi would have to deal with them, right? And Melody would basically be assisting Luigi she would be very protective of Luigi because again she developed a crush, right? She is a stalker ghostly girlfriend. Yeah, that would make total sense, and it would leave space for a follow up because she would be his companion throughout the Luigi Mansions games. Yeah, that would leave room for a follow up that Nintendo could create one day. But this would be the next installment, Luigi's Mansion Transylvania Adventure. Yeah, would be. It could even be a castle of some sort, right, in Transylvania. Deal with ghosts in the haunted castle. Yeah, add multiple locations to the game. For one, they would have to deal with bosses, right? Ghostly bosses. And the final boss would maybe be King Boo. Again, a recurring boss in the Luigi's Mansion games, right? King Boo would be based. You still would have to find boos in the games, right? You would have a certain number of boos that you could collect, right? Like other Luigi's Mansion games, and traditional ghosts, that you would have to collect, yeah, through the specific locations, yeah. You would be dealing with a lot of different ghosts, both friendly and evil ghosts, right? Some of the ghosts, for example, at the hotel, are very friendly, or in town are very friendly. You see ghosts. You're a paranormal researcher, right? Some of the ghosts are friendly, such as Melody, right? Some of the ghosts are evil, right? Melody's a friendly. She assists you in combat. That would be the game's mechanics because she is a ghost. She can hinder the other ghosts, right? She would be this game's mechanic, right? Instead of sucking fireballs or water or stuff, use Melody as a game mechanic. Yeah, that's right. And she basically, since she was a musician, she could hum the most of game's music. Right. What was the most interesting ghost in the first game? It was Melody. Right. Because she kind of liked Luigi. Yeah. Recycle that. Remember, if you ever played Luigi's Mansion, you had 30 ghosts to deal with, but Melody was the friendliest of these ghosts. She kind of had a crush on Luigi, right? In the game story. She was the friendliest of the 30 ghosts. Recycle that idea, bring her back. You can even bring back the dog ghost from the Dark Moon, right? Poppers, I don't remember the dog's name. You could basically, recycle that too somehow. But use Melody. I would see Melody as more of a fit as a ghost companion in the game. Right? The story would start at the Luigi's Mansion, at the lab. You would see a screen. The mansion is there, and you would see in the lab, what they're doing, right? And at the hotel, Dr. Egad would explain the apps that he developed, right, to Luigi, right? You would use both a ghost camera and a ghost box, right, to find some of the ghosts. Some of the boos, or for example, or the bad ghosts in the game, right? That would be the next Luigi's Mansion's installment, Luigi's Mansion Transylvania Adventure, and the ending would vary, yeah, but it would be a marriage with Melody, right? Because some of the ghosts in town are friendly, some of the townspeople know about ghosts, right? That's part of the Transylvanian lore, right? Possibly even deal with Dracula's ghost or whatever, something like that. You know what I mean? In the game, right? Write the story and the game's design around what I'm saying, right? It would make total sense. It would make one hell of a great Luigi's Mansion game, yeah. And leave room for a next installment, yeah. That would work.